You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, don't look now, but there is some damage control going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what damage control is that? Well, they are trying to justify what, on paper, right now, is starting to look like one of the worst draft day trades we've ever seen in NFL history. And I'm talking about the trade that involved the Cleveland Browns, where it looks like Andrew Berry played James Gladstone like a fiddle in that draft. Got a very solid DT in Mason Graham out of Michigan, and drafted Quinshon Judkins, who looks like a legit starting NFL running back. I believe he had 1,000 combined yards last year and 7 touchdowns in 14 games. And, of course, the issue is, well, Travis Hunter's going to play both ways. And to be honest with you, how many people did you actually hear that cover the NFL, talk about the NFL, actually said that is going to work out long term? Almost nobody. Almost nobody. I don't believe it's going to work out long term. It's just been maybe 2 months since the story came out that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to play Travis Hunter, Colorado alum, by the way, played under Dion with Shedeur. He's going to play at cornerback. Well, now they're coming out, James Gladstone. No, nothing to see here. Please move along. We're going to play him at both positions. You combine that with whatever that was he drafted, and look, nothing against the kid, but they drafted a tight end that one person I heard had it 15th, the 15th rated tight end in the NFL draft. Now, you never know how that's going to turn out, but, I mean, you can see this, he's getting drugged right now. People are crushing James Gladstone over this entire situation. You've got Liam Coen coming out saying, oh, nothing to see here. Please move along. He's going to play on both sides of the ball.
Coach, how do you want to utilize him going forward? There's always reports now that he's only going to play one position. Do you see it that way, or is it changed by the day?
The plan has not changed at all. He's going to play both sides of the football, just as we drafted him to do, and just as we have the same vision for him in terms of being able to give him those opportunities. Now, is it day by day in terms of what he looks like in his process of rehab? Absolutely. But the plan to play him on both sides of the ball as much as possible, that has absolutely stayed the same. It's stayed consistent. I think people look at naturally and see that Greg Newsome left and that there's a spot there that people are just plugging him into. Well, yeah, I'd love for him to play as much as humanly possible on both sides of the ball.
That's damage control. That's what that is from Liam Coen, a coach, by the way, that I like a lot. I thought Tampa Bay should have fired Todd Bowles and elevated Liam Coen to be the Buccaneers coach, not let him get away. Especially after the work he did. Dave Canales first, who's the Panthers coach, and then Liam Coen after with Baker Mayfield. But this is not going to work. Why will it not work? The physicality in the NFL prevents it from working. That's why this was never going to happen. Now, the trade looks more justifiable if you could say, well, we got 2 positions out of it. Look, give me a Pro Bowl cornerback or give me a Pro Bowl wide receiver, one of the 2. James Gladstone on today with Rich Eisen.
Let's talk about Travis Hunter. Where do things stand with him right now, James?
He's in a good spot. He's out on the grass in a limited fashion here, and that'll be the case throughout the remainder of the off-season program. As we get into training camp, he'll be full go. And really looking forward to building off of the momentum that was that game for him individually versus Los Angeles and London. Obviously, being able to breach the 100-yard mark from a receiving standpoint, get in the end zone. At the same time, he turns over to the defensive side of the ball and gets a PBU on a really critical down versus Devontae Adams in coverage. And so being able to build off of really where we were at that point in time and use that momentum to carry into this next season is an exciting piece for us.
Well, then the phrase limited obviously is usually used for a player about physically going to be limited in terms of the number of reps, number of things that he can do based on his health. But when you're talking about a guy who can play both sides of the ball, I'm wondering if limited is also another word that you might use for how you're going to use him, James.
I like it. You could have asked that a little bit more directly. Like,
all right, let me do it.
Both ways?
Yeah. Oh no, James. No, I admit I didn't want to be. I was testing your anti-fragility. So what do you think? Are we done with the two-way with him or not?
Absolutely not. No, he is set to play both sides of the ball. The piece that I think we can expect to see is actually an uptick.
Okay. So he says absolutely not. He's going to play both sides of the ball until he can't. I mean, until he can't. Until he gets hurt again. How many games did he actually make last year? He actually made 7 games and started in 4. I mean, he flashed at wide receiver, 28 for 298 and a touchdown. He looked decent at cornerback. But it's the physicality of the league that's going to prevent this from happening. And by the way, fans aren't buying this at all. At all. Quote, a horrendous pick. This GM stinks. What a reach this year also. Coen knows the plan sounds ridiculous. He just can't say we overpaid for a gadget player out loud yet. Liam Coen not blinking on the two-way plan for Travis Hunter is bold. Jacksonville drafted him to do the impossible, and they are going to let him try it. This either becomes the greatest NFL experiment ever or one of the most expensive lessons in recent memory. You can get away with that shit in college, but it's not feasible in the NFL at all. He should be a full-time corner. I mean, notice how many times they have to tell people this. It means it's unjustified. My issue is I hope they don't blow this kid's career because he's got a ton of talent. No doubt about it. A ton of talent. But if he turns out to be, and what was even worse was wide receivers got elevated after he got hurt and balled out on their after he was out of the lineup. So that made that even put a bigger spotlight on the situation. This was never going to work. Ever. You got Cleveland sitting up there with 2 solid players. If you wanted to take him that high as a wide receiver, fine. As a cornerback, and honestly, I think he probably could end up being a better cornerback, but you wouldn't have taken him that high. And what's his ceiling at wide receiver? I think his ceiling's like a WR2. Well, that's too high. Certainly too much collateral to have given up to have done that. We just know how this works. The physical limitations are going to prevent him from being a two-way player long term. It is what it is. The GM and the coach are circling the wagons right now. Tell me what you think. I'm going to tell you, I love the head coach, but this general manager I think I'm smarter than everybody. He's ate up with that. I don't buy that at all. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.